sure. Mute everybody now. And let's come to our comfortable seat. And from your comfortable seat, take a moment to adjust, shift, and make it more comfortable. Because there are levels of comfort. So we get to find this comfortable place, a balanced action between your sitting bones, a tall spine, and then let your eyes close if it's comfortable here, and take a couple of breaths, allowing yourself to start to feel that balanced action of breath. Our breath is technically not balanced in the actions of the inhale and the exhale. Our inhales tend to be a little bit shorter than our exhales. And our inhales and our exhales have two different purposes, or many purposes, but they tend to be opposite of each other. But when we use them together, we create a balanced action. So as you inhale and exhale here, instead of trying to make the length of your breath on the inhale and exhale the same, try to keep a balanced amount of effort. Come to a comfortable length on the inhale and a comfortable length on the exhale. And now bring hands to connect at heart center. And as you inhale to sit a little taller, lengthen. Exhale, bow toward your heart, honoring yourself for taking the time to be here, present in your own body. Then softly opening your eyes, release your hands down, and then gently again draw shoulders up and back, lengthen through the back of your neck, and then take a couple movements here, ear to shoulder, just a momentary check-in with the neck. We're not going to stay with it for very long. And then shake your head no, and nod your head yes. Turn your head to the right and nod. And to the left and nod. And now back into center. And as you press fingertips down beside your hips, lift and lengthen through your heart space. Start to walk your hands back a little ways to come to a little bit of a back bend here. So rest back onto your hands or your fingertips, whichever feels best, and then push and lift up and open more through your heart space. Take a full, big, deep breath. And then gently bring yourself all the way back upright. Walk your hands forward. We'll take that in the other direction. And round your spine back into your cat-like pose. Your chin tucks in. If you'd like, you can add a little bit of movement here, side to side through shoulders. And then inhale, extend your heart and rise all the way back up. Switch the cross of your legs if you're sitting cross-legged. If you're not, that's okay. You can just keep your legs the way they are. Move your sitting bones. And then as you hug elbows in by your sides, palms are lifted, and then find your gratitude arms here, getting that rotation of your upper arm bones so that your thumbs are moving toward the wall behind you. Take a big couple of breaths. And now as you exhale, bring fingertips out in front of you to press. Elbows are bent and lifted to about shoulder height. Round back through your upper back into a cat-like pose, chin tucks in. Then inhale, open it up to gratitude, and we'll take this a couple more times. Exhale, fingertips to connect round in through the upper back. Inhale, open it up, gratitude. One more time, full exhale. And then inhale, sit tall. Now hands come behind your back to clasp, press palms together, lift shoulders up and back. Think of bent elbows and then wrapping them back toward each other. Take a big deep breath. Lengthen the back of your neck. And then gently release your hands. And then let's take a little movement here. So as you bring your left fingertips to the floor beside you, reach your right arm up and over your ear. Take an exhale and take this as deeply as your body needs. Then inhale, rise all the way back up, set your left hand, and exhale, side stretch, or set your right hand and stretch to the right. Inhale back up and exhale to the left. And we'll go a couple more times to each side, using your inhales to help you rise up and your exhales to deepen that side stretch. And then rising all the way back up to a tall spine, walk your hands out to your knees and move gently through a cat and cow here. Exhaling to press the spine back. Inhale, belly and heart forward. A couple more deep breaths. Then inhale, sit tall, shift forward onto your hands and your knees. And from hands and knees, we're gonna settle hips back to heels for just a quick moment in a child's pose to find an evenly balanced place here with hips, with your torso, checking in with whatever's showing up in your body. Full big deep breath. And now rising up to hands and knees, set yourself up wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. And then find that rotation of the upper arm bones so your elbow pits are trying to turn a little forward and push. Inhale, lengthen back with your right leg, turn open with your hip. Long and straight with your right leg, press through your heel and then flex your foot. Press through your heel and then, or flex and then point your foot rather. There we go. Flex, reach through your heel, point, reach through your toes. A couple more times. And now stepping right foot forward in between your hands, we're coming to this low runner's lunge here. You're welcome to have blocks underneath your hands, or you can always have hands on the ground. But toes tuck under on your back leg, on your left leg, and then work your left knee further back so you have a little longer stretch through your back thigh. Take a big deep breath as you extend forward with your heart. And now we'll work into this first hamstring stretch. So as you work your front leg towards straight, you might bring your hands up high onto props here. Shift your hips back, flex your front foot. Think of drawing toes back towards your nose or towards your knee. And then as you push your heel down, let your knee lift a little bit so you're not hyperextending it if you do tend to have a little bit of hypermobility there. Wrap your right hip back so your hips become a little bit more level here. Take a big deep breath as you send your sitting bones up and send your ribs and collarbones forward and up. Deep breath, full inhale and exhale. Then inhale, bend into your front knee. And we're settling back onto hands and knees and pausing here. Find a rotation of the upper arm bones and push, expanding into your upper back. Next, inhale, reach back with your left leg, turn open with your hip, and again, flex and point your foot. And as you flex and point, get to start to tune into some of the sensations that are present there through the backs and the fronts of your leg. And now step left foot forward in between your hands. Again, blocks here if you want, optional always. Tuck your back toes under behind you and maybe work your back knee further back. Little extra length and stretch through the back thigh. Take a big, full, deep breath. Then up high with your blocks or whatever you're using for a prop, and shift your hips back, front leg towards straight. You can adjust it to where it feels best, and then pull back with your toes. Think of a strong flex of your foot here. As you push your heel down, this helps you to keep a little lift of your knee. And then wrap your left hip back and send sitting bones up. Extend your heart forward, take a full, big, deep inhale and exhale. And now bending into your front knee, settle back onto hands and knees. And then as you set yourself up, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, again, we're rotating elbow pits forward and pushing to expand into the upper back. Tuck toes under, lift hips up and back, downward facing dog pose. And then we're going to do a really slow pedal here. So as you bend your right knee, reach your left heel toward the ground and even think of lifting up with your left hip. Strong and steady with your hands and both shoulders, so the action is happening through your hips and hamstrings as opposed to your shoulders. And then switching sides, bend your left knee, reach your right heel toward the ground, and lift up with your right sitting bone. Again, root with both hands, and even more so, think of pushing from lats out through your hands. And now back into center, rise to tiptoes with both feet lifting sitting bones up, and then lowering heels back toward the ground. Now walk your way forward, coming into your forward fold at the front of your mat. Take an inhale and lengthen part way, long spine. Exhale and fold over your legs. Inhale, lengthen again, bring your hands up above your knees to the lower part of your thighs. Send your sitting bones up and extend longer through your ribs, your chest. And then walk your way up your legs, coming up to stand. Mountain pose. Set feet inner hip bone distance apart and parallel. Lift and spread your toes and then root them. Turn your palms so that you're opening and expanding through your chest. Even think of rotating your arms even more so your thumbs are turning toward the wall behind you. Big, deep inhale and exhale. And then on your next inhale, stretch up overhead. Exhale, bent knees, fold over your legs. Inhale, lengthen part way. Exhale and fold. Plant fingertips, you're stepping right foot back into your lunge. Center with your hips and then reach up, coming up to your lifted lunge. You can always have your back knee down for this one, that's totally fine. But wrap the left hip back and then come to gratitude here. Elbows hug in, you're rotating with your arms, expanding and lifting through your chest. Deep breath. Exhaling, hands come down to the front of your mat. Find your blocks and come to the highest point. And then work your front leg towards straight. So second hamstring stretch here. Left big toe mound pushes down. Wrap your left hip back. Bend your back knee a little and tilt your sitting bones up. From there, try extending your ribs more forward, collarbones more forward. Take a deep breath. Then inhale, bend into your front knee. Walk hands to the inside and we'll pivot, taking that wide stance fold. So you're turning toward the right side. Feet are parallel and even more so, think of pinky toe edges parallel to each other. Now lift and spread your toes, lifting your inner arches, and then push with your pinky toe edges. down into the ground. Send sitting bones up, helps to have a little bend to your knees here. And then as you exhale and fold, we'll take just a moment in this first one. Take a big couple of breaths. You might set elbows down or stay up on hands. But now, with feet really well set, you're going to pedal out with your legs, bending one knee at a time. Then inhale, extend your heart. Exhale, we're pivoting, turning toward the front of your mat, and then step all the way back, downward facing dog pose. And take a moment in your down dog, realizing that you can always turn this into a hands and knees position instead. Take a big deep breath, lengthen sitting bones up, reach heels toward the ground, keeping a little bend to the knees. And then lower knees down, hips to heels, take a child's pose. Take a moment to walk your hands further forward, move through the hips, and then settle evenly into this pose. Inhale, rise all the way up to your hands and knees. Find that good rotation of the upper arm bones and push, and then lift hips up and back, downward facing dog pose. And now walk your way forward, coming into your forward fold at the front of your mat. Take an inhale and lengthen part way. Exhale and fold over your legs. Plant your fingertips. You're stepping right or left foot back rather into your lunge. And as you come to this lunge, again, back knee up or down, your choice, push into the ground and lift your torso, rising up. Coming to gratitude here if that feels good in your body. Opening up and expanding through the heart space. Centering with your hips, settling in as deeply as your body is ready for. Big, deep breath. Exhaling, hands come down to the front of your mat and find your blocks, and then we're working our front leg towards straight. Now, as you come to this hamstring stretch, we're pushing the big toe mound down into the floor on the right foot, and then wrapping the right hip back, trying to even out the hips a little bit in this asymmetric pose. So finding a little more balance where there's imbalance. Then bend your back knee and send sitting bones up. From that place, just notice what the sensations are like. And even though it might be pretty sensational, think about maybe backing off a little bit to be a little bit more balanced in the action you're taking. Or bend your knee a bit more. Just notice there for you what a balanced action might mean. One more big breath. And then bend into your front knee, and we're pivoting, taking that side or that wide-legged fold facing the left side. And from here again, check your feet and position them so that you have pinky toe edges parallel. Lift and spread your toes, and then root through the pinky edges. Lift the sitting bones, and then take as deep a fold here as your body is ready for. As you take this fold, notice what's happening through the backs of your legs, the insides of your legs, maybe the outsides of your legs. Notice if one side has more sensation or different sensation than the other. And then inhale, lengthen. Exhale, pivot toward the front of your mat, and then step all the way back. Downward facing dog pose, big, full, deep breath. Knees come down, hips come back towards your heels. Take a child's pose. Three more deep breaths in your child's pose. And let your breath help you to settle a little further or simply to notice what's there for sensation. And now gently rise all the way up to your seat, and we're coming all the way down to sitting bones. And then we're coming to a staff pose. So our legs are gonna come out straight. If you would like to support your hamstrings a little bit, you can take a rolled up blanket and set it underneath your thighs here. It's a really nice thing to do sometimes for your hamstrings so that they don't have to work quite so hard. Helps you to also keep a little bend to your knees if you tend to be hypermobile there. So move your sitting bones. And then with your legs out in front of you, notice for yourself if it feels better to have your legs a little wider or if it feels better to have them more hip distance. Your choice. Heels pressed down, pull toes back, so a good flex. And then even think of pushing your heels down and dragging them back. And as you do so, try to tilt your belly forward. Little anterior tilt of your pelvis. Press fingertips down behind you or beside you and lift up with your chest. And as you lift up, think of collarbones and ribs lifting and moving back. Head back to the back plane of your body. And then from this place, you can either keep fingertips on the ground or maybe take a clasp or gratitude arms, your choice. Take a full, big, deep breath and notice what action you might need to take, what shift you might need to make this more balanced in action. So if it's a lot of effort to sit up without fingertips on the ground, then keep fingertips on the ground. So as you lengthen your sides, shoulders are up and back, head is back. Take a big, full, deep breath. And wherever you are, think of maybe hugging elbows toward each other a little bit so that shoulder blades are engaging. Take another deep, full breath right here. And then release your hands back to the ground if they're lifted. Bend your knees and we can set the blanket aside. If you know you like it underneath your neck for Shavasana, then maybe set it at the foot of your mat, or the head of your mat rather. And then go ahead and rest all the way down onto your back. And from this place, knees draw in, and then take a couple of movements side to side. And as you rock side to side, you get to recognize and notice what is happening for you sensation-wise through low back, hips, hamstrings. And now set right foot on the ground. Left knee is still drawn in toward your chest. You're going to open it up to the left side. And then aim your foot toward the ceiling. And now from this place, you can hold on around the back side of your thigh, outside of shin, or if you have longer arms than me, maybe you take a hold of the outside of your foot. Wherever that is, create a pull down and a push back into your hand. From that place, tilt your pelvis, so sitting bones are trying to move down, even though this is an asymmetric pose. And then we're going to open the right knee up to the right side, rocking onto the pinky toe edge of the right foot. From here, if you would like to add the hamstring stretch, you can extend the left leg, and this can happen no matter where you're holding on. You can work the leg towards straight out to the side. And it doesn't have to be straight. I always say towards straight because, come on, lots of the world has tight hamstrings. So take a big, full, deep breath and re-tilt the pelvis, sitting bones down. And now bend your knee again, create that pull down and the push back. And then bring your right knee back to center and cross left ankle over the right knee to lift your knees up toward your body. Coming to this figure 4 pose, flex both feet. Take a big deep breath. You can hold on where it's comfortable, or you don't even have to hold on. You can just bring your legs to where they want to be right now. And then reset, set your right foot down and your left foot down. And then just pause for a moment and notice if there's some extra sensation on one side versus the other. And notice that maybe that imbalance here. And now we'll take the other side. So your left foot stays on the ground, right knee draws in and then opens up to the right side, and then bend your knee, aim your foot toward the ceiling. And from that place, hold on where you need to. Like I said, back of thigh or shin works great. If it's comfortable to hold your foot, you can, but enlightenment doesn't happen from taking your foot. So come to where it is the best thing for your body in this moment. Tilt sitting bones down, create that resistance, pull down and push back. And now open the left knee up to the left side. Your left foot is active as you rock to the pinky edge. This way there's no turning of the ankle, but your ankle is really steady. And now if you'd like to, you can take that extended right leg into the hamstring stretch. You don't have to, you can stay in the hip stretch. If you take the hamstring stretch, think about flexing your foot considerably. Pull your toes way back. And then bending your knee again. And one more time, you're giving that pull down and push back and tilt of your pelvis. And then bring left knee back to center, cross the right ankle over the left knee. With feet flexed, draw your legs as close to your body as is right for you today, and take some big, deep breaths. And then set both feet on the ground, drop your knees in together to touch. Hands come to rest wherever it's comfortable. Close your eyes here and take a moment to notice maybe a little bit more balance in the sensations in the body, or maybe not. But this is your chance to take in the information. And now begin to set yourself up into your favorite version of a resting pose. And my favorite, whenever my hamstrings are super tight, is to add that bolster underneath my legs so that my hamstrings get to press against something as my legs rest. So you can take that if you want, or any other version of a shavasana. As you find that spot for yourself, that evenly balanced place. Let your breath be soft but full. And start to be conscious of where in the body you might still be holding on. And then utilize your breath to help you soften and release. Begin to take a deeper breath. Gently add some movement into fingers and into toes. As you're ready to, bend your knees and roll over to your side. And then slowly press yourself back up to your seat. Bringing hands to connect at heart center. Take a moment to return to that balanced breath. Have a very peaceful, very beautiful rest of your day. And have a wonderful holiday if I don't see you again. Namaste. Thanks, everybody.